Stepping up to the plate on BCTV is presented by Smoker & Company and One Source Business Solutions.
All right, hi guys, this is Dan Clouser, president of the Big Vision Foundation. We're out here during our Memorial Day Classic tournament, really the kickoff to our summer season. We've got 38 teams out here, and I'm standing along Dick Gernert Way with one of our vendors, Jennifer Wenzel, one of the owners of Beach Balls Hawaiian Shaved Ice. Jen, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us here. We love it at Big Vision.
Absolutely. So you guys are out here every single weekend. Obviously, the warmer the weather, the better for you. Yeah. Tell me one of the things, why you guys enjoy coming out and just being in this atmosphere.
So we are a family of four. My husband and I had two sons who grew up playing baseball from the time they were 5, starting in t-ball. And I was thinking it probably was around the year 2000 when our oldest son first played here, before Big Vision took over the complex. And we are just a baseball family, and even though my sons have finished college, we love the baseball life. We didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, awesome. And again, this is a great weekend because, obviously you guys are here every weekend. Our t-shirt vendor is here every weekend, but we got a couple other vendors, so it's really cool having vendors on both sides of the walkway coming up here. And as teams come through and they're getting their Hawaiian shaved ice and just really creating kind of a carnival atmosphere. So you guys were standing in front of your flavor station here. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about that, because you guys are a little bit unique where it's not your typical shaved ice type of operation. So explain a little bit about how things work here, Jen.
Right. So with our company, we can serve a whole lot of people really quickly, because inside our stand, we give everyone their cup of ice, and then they bring their flaky, snowy ice out here, and they can choose from 10 different flavors, and they can add as much as they want. Or, some people stick with one flavor, some people try them all, some people just have their favorite blends.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. And if you get halfway through it and you figure out that you don't have enough flavor, you can come back and get some more. And actually that is encouraged by the company to come back and get some more. So, you guys are not only here, you have a booth here on our north side, you have a little tiki hut over on our south side. Yes. And tell us about some of your other locations as well. You're down at the Premium Outlets, so just talk a little bit about just the business in general.
Okay. Well, our company started with a mobile trailer, and we actually brought it here 3 years ago, and we set it up each weekend, and it was working so great that you invited us to come and have a permanent location here. Then we expanded to a second permanent location down on the south side, and that freed up our red trailer to go to other events. So right now, the red trailer's at a soccer tournament out in Hershey, and they have different events. The road crew, we call them, they have different events lined up throughout the whole summer. They do field days at schools, and they've done graduation parties. And then we have a permanent location at the Philadelphia Premium Outlets, and we just expanded that location this year by adding a weekend cart that is also at the Premium Outlets.
Very cool. So yeah, I mean, we're happy, and we love partnering with people, and you guys are great. You're supporters of our organization outside of just coming out here. All right, so we're still out here at the Memorial Day Classic, and we have a brand new vendor this weekend who I happened to, fate had it. We bumped into each other on Thursday at Sam's Club. She had her table set up just like it is today, selling fudge, peanut butter chocolate fudge for hurricane relief efforts, and just trying to get the island of Puerto Rico back, recovering from the storm. And so, first of all, Francisca Reber, is running this here, and thanks for coming out this weekend. But tell me a little bit about what the cause is here.
Okay, Dan, first I want to say thank you so much for stopping at Sam's Club and chatting with me. This is I like what you're doing for the youth in the tri-state area and regionally, keeping them on track and positive experiences with sports. I love what you've done with the field, the Charlie Wagner field. I'm from Cape Cod too, so I love what you've done with the Fenway replica. But what we're doing is we're trying to keep awareness of the needs of recovering efforts in Puerto Rico. I want to thank David as well and for partnering. As you probably already know, Puerto Ricans have been Americans since 1917, and that's when they enacted the Jones Act. And since then, we've been serving in the armed forces. 20,000 Puerto Ricans were drafted then, and they've been serving proudly since then. And fast forward to current times, the infrastructure in Puerto Rico was really neglected and devastated after Hurricane Maria, and the whole island suffered catastrophic issues. And so we're just trying to keep awareness of homelessness, medical needs, ongoing recovery work that's needed there. And so we've been selling fudge for the last 10 months. I've been down there with 6 different small teams, working with 8 ministries throughout the island. And grassroots efforts are working there. Churches are being visible and attending to the needs. And you have a thriving Hispanic community here. A lot of Puerto Ricans are playing, and so it's great to see partnership with what the needs are. And come on down. We've got awesome peanut butter chocolate fudge. It's a fabulous secret recipe. Thank you, Keith Yeager, for sharing it with me. I'm not divulging any of the secrets, but it's quite addicting. You did try it, right?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm going to have to really try to not get any more today because it was amazing. But yeah, it's obviously as a nonprofit organization ourselves, there's not a whole lot we can do other than offer you this space, which I hope really benefits. It's a shame that the island's kind of been forgotten a little bit since the hurricane came through. I mean, we're going on, a year and a half, and, there's still a lot of work to be done. So, hopefully some of these grassroots efforts that, you guys are doing and many others, continue to move the island forward. So what is it that makes you want to, because you could be doing anything on this beautiful Saturday. So yes. What was it that says, you know what, I'm going to come out here and sit at the baseball field and sell some fudge and hope to get some money raised to send to Puerto Rico? What is it in your DNA that made you want to do that?
Well, I'm a New Yorican, means that I was born and raised in New York, but my parents are from Puerto Rico. My mother from Ponce, my father from Santurce, and so I'm proud to represent the island. We have a wonderful population of Puerto Rican Americans that are intelligent, articulate, and ready to work in the workforce as bilinguals and with some good skills, and we bring a lot to the table. And so last time I was there was in April, and I was shocked because it was the 6th time that I was there.
All right, still out here at our Memorial Day Classic, enjoying so far a really great weekend. I'm here with Tracy, who is the owner-operator of Tracy's Sassy Sports Stuff, which is also the official souvenir stand of the Big Vision Sports Complex. Tracy, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me here.
So Tracy actually was an employee of another company last year out here running the souvenir stand. Really just a t-shirt stand last year, and saw an opportunity to kind of become an entrepreneur. And now it's t-shirts and all kinds of other stuff. So tell me a little bit about, the thought process from last year that made you want to become an entrepreneur and take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, I started seeing parents asking me for all kinds of things up here instead of just t-shirts. They forgot their sunblock or their bug spray or umbrellas, chairs, almost anything. So I kept running through my mind that I could really help out here by having the stuff that the parents need and the kids as well that they may have forgotten at home. So I built on that and got together with them and was able to build this up, and it's still we're still learning. We're still adding new things every week to make it better. Every week I take into consideration what I'm asked for that I don't already have, and the next week I have it here right away. So it's been working great for us.
Very cool. So this is our 30th year as an organization, and we're still learning too. So don't that's a good thing. So let's just take a look at some of the stuff you got here. So the t-shirts, obviously, but then we've got bags and little hair bunchies, hand sanitizer, all kinds of stuff. Chairs, obviously, if there's a downfall of our complex is we don't have a ton of seating. So I think that's a great idea to sell some chairs and very competitive price. Here's an example of what you can get on a shirt. So basically, the shirts are actually made right here on site. So her inventory back there is just different colors, tie-dye, and all kinds of other plain colors. And then the kids or parents order whatever design they want, and it actually gets applied right here on site on any color, which really helps Tracy keep her inventory manageable as opposed to having 100 different sizes, which at the end of the year, you had all the wrong sizes at that point, and you wish you would have had more mediums and larges or vice versa. So obviously the weather has not been great so far this year, but for the most part, I mean, how's business been, and how are you feeling about venturing off on your own so far?
Feeling pretty good about it. Business has been steady. I think the customers are just learning what we have here. Each time they come back, they're seeing a little bit more, and it's getting their curiosity, and they come back and see what we have this week. I try to change things up a little bit so that they don't get bored with the same old thing every time. And I'm excited about continuing to do that throughout the year, adding some extra prints. They're always a work in progress with this. We're working on a whole new line of prints. So in a few weeks, I hope to have that finished and a nicer, newer board made up there.
Very cool. So again, great selection of inventory. As you come over here, again, just some little tchotchke stuff that people can pick up. Whether it's water fan as the day gets hotter, some sunglasses, crayons for some of the younger siblings that are here. But again, you can see we got colored prints, black and white prints, umbrella. Hopefully we don't need those this weekend at all. Wet wipes, again, all that stuff that, as these teams come out here and, take the weekend, they're just, stuff you forget when you're like, hey, that's great. I didn't have to run over to Walmart or CVS or whatever the case. So definitely works good. Obviously, there are some things that are already printed, either as a sample item or, they can buy right off the rack, which is pretty cool. Getting into printed pants and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. Again, more bags, all kinds of stuff, and some little keychains and stuff like that. So it's really awesome selection here, and very affordable pricing. So what are some of the other things we can All right, so we're still out here during our Memorial Day Classic along Dick Gernert Way, which we also call Vendor Row. And this is a great weekend for us. We got a bunch of vendors that we're talking to, and I'm now joined by Dan Lewis with Game Day Sports. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. We appreciate the invitation to be here. You guys do a great job with your tournaments.
Thank you. And just for people to understand the reach, you guys are actually down here from Buffalo, New York.
That's correct.
So it's certainly not just a hop, skip, and a jump. So tell me a little bit about. I know you and Dave had originally connected. You were out here a couple times last year. We were looking to do a much fuller thing. We're kind of just tiptoeing into it a little bit more this year. But tell me about how the conversation started between you and Dave, and why you felt this was a good opportunity for your company to
Absolutely.
Set up out here.
Well, being based out of Buffalo, we started in that area about 5 years ago and had strictly stuck to servicing the Western New York area. Well, spending time with this, you realize that there are a lot of opportunities out there. There are a lot of markets to go into. And last year we decided that we were going to start researching some of the possibilities to see, who else outside the Buffalo area we might be able to partner up with. So we had come across an advertisement. It's Big Vision. You were running a tournament there. I think it was a baseball tournament at the time. And we reached out to Dave, who responded quite quickly. And we kind of found that, there was a nice potential for a partnership. Game Day Sports does about 130 events in the Western New York area. But again, knowing that there's so much more out there, what we have to offer, how well it's received, we reached out, came out twice last year, found it was rather successful, I think, for both parts. I think it added a dimension to your tournament, which, like I said, you guys do a great job. And we did well too. So, that's kind of the partnership we're looking for. If we can work together, you provide the clientele, hopefully we provide the product and something else to the people that come out to your tournaments. So as you said, we're starting right now to discuss the possibility of a longer-term relationship. Right now, there's obviously the business part of it now that we got to figure out, if all the numbers make sense and all of that. But certainly Big Vision provides quality events. We can see that. They're well attended. That's really what we want to partner up with. You're stable, you provide a great product, and hopefully we do the same and can complement each other.
Awesome. We love the partnership, and like I said, we want it to grow. And this is exactly what we want every weekend, is multiple vendors, because for us it's really about creating an experience for the kids that are here. I mean, what happens on the field is great. These kids are always, having fun, but at the end of the day, when they look back on this, 2-3 years down the road, they're going to talk about this experience here, and that's really what we want to do, is kind of create, a carnival atmosphere. So weekends like this, when we look down here and we see tents on both sides, that's what we really get jazzed up about, because it is the atmosphere we want to create, and it makes people want to stick around the complex more. It's not just when their game's over, they're heading back to the hotel or whatever, they want to stop and browse. And let's just take a look at some of the stuff that you guys have here. So obviously we got some arm sleeves, which I think are probably one of your most popular items. I mean, the kids are just eating those up nowadays. Some sunglasses and jewelry as well. Some coolie cups, bows and keychains. All right, so again, Memorial Day Classic down here along Vendor Row, Dick Gernert Way. I'm now joined with marketing representative from Shutt Sports, Becky Garcia. Becky, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. We love coming here. Big Vision always puts on a great tournament. It's beautiful, and you guys are always so nice to us.
Thank you. So you guys, again, we've got vendor across the way here from Buffalo, New York. You guys actually have a little bit more miles logged than he does. So tell our people where you came from this weekend.
Well, we came from Denton, Texas, but our company is located in Litchfield, Illinois. So we're independent contractors, and we move. We go from New York to Florida to California and everybody in between.
That's awesome. And don't want to lose the fact that Shutt not only is a vendor this weekend, but they're actually an official sponsor of Big Vision Foundation. They're actually the provider of the Jack Corbett bases that are on every one of our fields. So Jack Corbett Hollywood base is the official base of the Big Vision Sports Complex. So you see a lot of signage of Shutt around our complex, and that's due to that relationship that originally was developed between myself and Diane Baker, who's an amazing human being. And Diane got us in touch with Becky, and they're out here traveling. And Becky, you're a former high school softball coach as well. Yes. So again, tell me just about, why you enjoy continuing to be part of the game, and when you're out here seeing the girls compete, what that does for you.
Well, I used to play softball in college with Diane Baker. So when I retired, she says, she got me, because we still love going to the games, still love the coaching aspect, and this helps us protect or train the athletes. You get to talk to the coaches and the kids, so as a coach you like that interaction, so this gives us the interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see back there that Shutt is actually the official batter's helmet of USA Softball for 2020. So it'll be a Shutt helmet worn by all the athletes for softball in the 2020 Olympics. So, now that softball's back in the Olympics, again, being a softball former player, that's got to be exciting for you. I know it was exciting for us to hear that baseball and softball were included in. So, what did that the opportunity opened up for a company, but also personally, how did that make you feel when you heard the news?
Oh, we were excited. We were just waiting for the news to come out. We knew because we sponsored Team USA, so we knew we would be in the Olympics. We're hoping, hint, hint, that they will send us to Japan so we can go with them. But we will see, since we're not high up there like Diane Baker.
Did you hear that, Diane?
Now, what we will say is the helmet that the USA team is wearing, that's the helmet you're getting from us. So if you have a 12-year-old girl or a 15-year-old boy, you're wearing those helmets. We don't have levels. It's the same helmet. So, we have youth sizes, we have different sizes, but the helmet quality is the same.
Yeah, very, very cool. Said we love the partnership that we have with Shutt, and I know when when Diane and I first started talking, and you're talking about levels on the base side, there are different levels, yes. And I was really kind of not shooting real high and just wanted to get a base out here, and Diane was like, no, if we're going to have our name out there, we want you to have the best bases at your facility that we carry. So you're getting, Jack Corbett Hollywood base is what you're getting. We're not giving you a mid-level or a lower-level base. So it's great to have somebody like that who's thinking that way, that if our name's going to be on it, we want it to be a great product. So it just goes to show you the thought process that Shutt wants to be as a brand.
Right.
And, I know you guys don't do just baseball and softball, so talk a little bit about some of the other sports. You're actually very big in football helmets as well.
We started off as a football helmet company, and it got big. And then we branched off to softball and baseball. And the quality is the same as you would get in the helmet. Difference in just the styles and stuff, but we also have lacrosse helmets, too. Same quality, same, designs and stuff. One of our main things is we specialize in paint jobs. So you can get this in pretty much any color you want, many designs. That's one of our specialty is customization.
Right. You can see, like, here's a custom American flag type of helmet. Some batters helmets over here, completely, custom design. So that's very cool because this day and age, I'm a little bit of a traditionalist, so me personally, I'm not a huge fan of that sort of stuff, but I also understand that the kids that are wearing it nowadays, that is the way to go. So sometimes I got to swallow that tradition and say, hey, let's just let the kids be kids at this point. So
yes, you need the up to green, you need the special designs, but we also have, just your basic mold.
Now I'm out here with Jackie from the Valley Forge Patriots, head coach at our Memorial Day Classic. Jackie, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So wanted to talk to you a little bit. We're interviewing a lot of our vendors and some of the coaches that are here this weekend. You've been coming out here now for 3 years. Once we launched our softball program, you guys kind of jumped in, found out word of mouth. Tell me what makes you guys want to keep coming back to our complex for tournaments.
You have a beautiful complex, beautiful facility, which is nice because you spend most of your weekends here, so it's nice. Really good mix of teams, so it's nice, especially nice when you're first starting to get to know teams and getting to know the travel world. So it's nice, you have a nice mix of teams, so you're not constantly playing the same teams that you would at a lot of other local tournaments. So it's a nice mix of different teams and competition that you get to see.
Cool. So you've been coaching for 8 years, you told me, and you were a former player. What made you want to get involved in coaching once your playing days were over?
The biggest thing is as a teenager playing softball, when you go to school and you're asked, who do you admire, who do you look up to? I always admired my coaches, and they really didn't only teach me softball, but they also taught me about life and growing up. And so I knew that as young women, it's a women's sport, but there's a lot of men coaches. And I thought it was really important to be a female influence in their lives because it's not just the game that we're teaching them. It goes a lot farther than that.
Absolutely. And that, you know, our organization being a nonprofit, you know, with our teams, it really is, you know, for us more about, you know, not as much about the wins and losses, although every time you step on the field, you're playing to win, you're competing. But just what you said, it's about, you know, teaching the life lessons that you can learn through the game and that sort of stuff. So, you know, as a player, you know, what's one of the biggest life lessons that the game of softball has taught you?
Well, that was a really good question. It's taught me a lot, but I think the biggest thing is you're going to, anything in life, you're going to get what you put into it. So in a job, you're going to be successful if you put effort into it. So on the field, you're going to be successful if you put effort into it and the time into it. So I think that's the biggest thing, and especially as young women, that it helps prepare them for not just the field, but outside of the field, for as they continue to grow and develop and outside of school and the working world.
Awesome. So now that you are coaching, you've been coaching almost a decade now. You know, what's one of the biggest kind of pleasures you get out of coaching and being around the girls?
The time with them and just being with them through not just the good and the bad. So I am a mom of 3. I have 2 younger kids as well. And so my youngest has grown up on the field in diapers. And so I've chosen to be here with these girls and not just, you know, and my kids are growing up on the sideline. And so I love watching them grow and into the players and young women that they are. And so there's really nowhere else I'd rather be than with them. And also I get to have my kids on the sidelines as well. So it's the best of both worlds, which is nice.
All right, we're still out here at the Memorial Day Classic. I'm now joined with the owner of Athletes Academy, Sharifa Howarth. Sharifa, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, so this weekend we've been you know, talking to a lot of our vendors, some of the teams, coaches, you know, and you started coming up here last year, relatively new business, even though you've been coaching for 20 years, which I look at you and I think you must have started coaching when you were 5 years old then.
Nice, thank you.
But you know, first of all, tell me, what made you want to open up an academy for starters?
Well, first of all, I've always been an athlete my whole life. Played Division I field hockey at Temple University, and it just so happened that I had 2 boys, so I didn't have a chance to have a female to go on and play field hockey. So the next best thing was to get involved in their sports, and so thankfully my kids are playing football, basketball, and baseball. Baseball being my oldest son Cross's favorite sport, and my younger son Colby, he is football, basketball, and lacrosse, and football being his favorite sport. So I've been lucky enough to have very athletic children, and what was the next best step was but to open up my own training facility, which really deals with speed, agility, strength training, core balance, and then the need in the area was to have some kind of competitive baseball team. So we started that up on behalf of my son.
Awesome. So, like I said, you're an athlete yourself, Division I player. What made you want to get involved in coaching when you're done playing?
Well, I've always coached since I was 18. I felt like being a coach made me a better player. So not everybody can coach, and I feel like I have the ability to get good energy out of the players. So whether you're a mediocre player, an excellent player, an elite player, I feel like I can get something out of you to make you feel better about yourself. And I feel like building confidence with these kids since they're little is the biggest thing, especially nowadays. The confidence is a big part of athletics.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. So you actually coach the boys' baseball teams, which I think is very cool. We were talking earlier, and I told you we had 2 females that coached our 12 and under team last year, 1 female that's coaching our 12 and under team this year. Tell me about what that's like, you know, how the kids respond to you at first, and you know, just what that whole process has been like.
It's interesting because I feel like the boys look at me like a surrogate mother, but at the same time I'm pretty intense where I hold them accountable, and I feel like with any athlete you need to hold them accountable. But I get the best feedback from my athletes, and I get the best feedback from my athletes' parents. It's the not so good feedback I get from opposing people's parents and opposing people's athletes. I think they figure being a female that I'm not worthy of being on a baseball diamond, where I'm complete opposite. I was raised by a very strong man, and I am just lucky that he gave me the confidence to be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, 25 years ago, I actually coached a men's team that played against the Colorado Silver Bullets women's professional team, out here in Reading, and we're very supportive of females playing baseball, coaching baseball, the whole 9 yards. And we had a girl from our organization select